Welcome to the Circle Sessions featuring the Circle of Experts. Each week, one of the Circle of Experts joins me to talk about some critical aspects of growing your podcast. We focus on marketing, social media, monetization, and website design to help you implement all of these together. The Circle of Experts are Yasmine Robles from Robles Designs, Tonnisha English-Amamoo of TJE Communications, and Don the Idea Guy. I'm Brett Johnson from Circle 270 Media Podcast Consultants. This week, Tonnisha is here from Circle of Experts. Tonnisha's on a mission to help small businesses level the playing field through digital marketing solutions. Tonnisha, thanks for joining me again today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This is a phenomenon that amazes me, that we're now using social media as a search engine.
Yeah.
That's wild. And I know you've given some great examples over the past episodes, just in regards to how, you know, your saves on a previous episode, your saves on Instagram, that's a search right there, that you saved something for a meal to cook. But that's a search. So let's talk about how we can look at social media being used as a search engine and what we need to do to be there as an answer for that query, basically.
Yeah. And, Yasmine has talked a lot about SEO on the podcast, and a lot of the things that she has talked about, if not everything, can be transferred into how we are managing our social media to also be a part of this social media search game that's going on now. And so if you're not really familiar, like what we mean by social media search, essentially it is the same way you would go to Google to look up something, many people are going to Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and searching there. So it's described by Sprout Social as the practice of looking for products, information, brands, or anything else directly within a social media platform. So it's different from, going to Google and saying, show me a TikTok video about this thing. It's actually going to TikTok and saying, like, this is what I'm trying to see videos of. And so traditionally, Google has dominated search for a very long time. We know that other search engines exist, but the phrase like just Google it or whatever, like that's something that we all know. According to Forbes, 24% of consumers now use social media to search and find answers to questions. And it says the number is even higher for Gen Z, with the number being 46% using social media as their primary search engine to find information. And so, along with that as well, 93% of business leaders say that social media data and insights has been their company's primary source of business intelligence. So, we know that most businesses, nearly all of them, are utilizing data and insights from social media to inform their decision making. And we know that this upcoming generation, 46% of them, nearly half of them, are going to social media before they go to Google to look for something. Now, there's some pros and cons to that, right? So for me, I'm a huge TikTok girl. I know I've talked about it so many times. And primarily, for me going to TikTok, it's because I'm not just looking for the information. I need the information alongside a video or some instructions so I can like see what exactly you're talking about. The problem with that though is credibility. How do we determine the search that's coming up for us on an Instagram is credible as a Google? Google has been around for a very long time, and they have a process of vetting what kind of content shows up on that first page. Whereas social media is all about, like we talked about, reach, likes, followers. So those influencers who have bigger platforms or a video that has gone viral will probably show up first before you actually get to the root of whatever it is that you're looking for. I mean, a lot of times, speaking of a viral video, if a certain sound on TikTok or audio on TikTok has gone viral, like everybody's saying like things are demure. Have you seen that around?
A little
And
bit. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and that started from a TikTok video. So you have to get through all of that noise to even get to the original, like, where did this even come from? So I think there's pros and cons with social media being considered the new search engine. But it's here. So now we have to adjust and get on board.
Yeah, those percentages are nothing you can just go, ah, that's a fad. That
Right.
those are big numbers
Right.
to really think about.
Mm-hmm.
And Google's probably shot themselves in the foot as well, too. If you look
Mm-hmm.
at certain searches and all it is paid ads on the top fold.
Yeah.
That that
And
that that doesn't help anything in regards to them. Again, it's that Google is supposed to, it was built on the fact that you ask it a question or search and it gives you the best answer it can.
right.
And if it's paid
Right.
ads, that's not the best answer necessarily in my eyes or anybody's eyes.
And I'm noticing a shift with Google search where when you look for something, it will show an AI answer. I believe their new AI platform is called Gemini. I keep getting like emails from G Suite to like try it out. So I'm seeing more of that, but I'm also seeing AI in TikTok searches as well. Like you'll get like a little blurb about here's a synopsis of what you're looking for, and here's a video that we believe is probably the most credible, but then there's also these other videos for you to look at too. And so, when it comes to podcasters, how can podcasters keep up now with people, more consumers using social media to search? And so some key takeaways that I got from the article is that each social media platform has a different search purpose for users.
Right.
And so, maybe searching on TikTok, you're looking for a video tutorial. And we talked about recipes. I also have a folder on TikTok for recipes too. And so I need to see a step by step. But sometimes, like, I have so many clothes, but I also feel like I don't have any clothes. My husband says I need to just clean out my closet. So sometimes I'll go to Pinterest and I'll say, okay, what outfit can go with black leggings and
Hmm.
a jean jacket? And then I can see pictures of people wearing black leggings and jean jackets and kind of seeing how they put it together. And then I can say, oh, okay, like I have these things. I can do something like this. And going even further, I can say, show me a black plus size woman wearing black leggings and a jean jacket outfit for a meeting with coworkers. And even
Okay.
there, it
Okay.
can get even more defined. And so thinking about as you are sharing, clips or information about your podcast on different platforms, think about what people might be looking for. Are people, talking about, my true crime love, as you guys also are aware of, are people looking for information about a case? Are people looking for like a summary of a case? Where would they go? They're probably not going to go to Pinterest for that. They probably will go to TikTok and see somebody's like story time about a particular event. So think about where you're posting the content, what people may have in mind as they're searching, and then think about how you can create content that would fit into the framework of that search.
So is there an available or well, how do I want to say this? So if you're posting something on a social media platform, let's go with the TikTok idea that,
Mhm.
going with what you're just talking about. So I'm sure there are ways of what you have to include that way TikTok knows what you're posting about. So does that include keywords, how you describe the video that's up there? I mean,
Yeah.
how do you do research to know that what you're putting up there is actually telling those that are looking for you, you want them to be looking
Yeah.
for you, that you're answering their question
Hmm.
about what they're searching for.
Yeah.
What's a good way of attacking that?
So I definitely, keywords for sure. It's definitely going to be the start. Even though, people say hashtags are dead, but I don't think that's true for TikTok at least.
Okay.
So, if we're talking about true crime, like, can you use the hashtag of, the case? Can you use a true crime hashtag? Can you use like a story time? People love doing story times on TikTok where actually there was a woman that did a story time about some crazy like ex-boyfriend that she had, and now she's like apparently getting a TV show
Hmm.
about it, like a whole like series about her experience.
Hmm.
Um, and so what trends are happening that you can use and include that in your content?
So it's doing some research prior to the posting,
Yeah.
kind of looking at, okay, what stream do you want to swim in with that
Exactly.
content, and making
Exactly.
sure you're saying the right thing,
Hmm.
but being true to what you're posting as well, though, too.
Yeah,
Without
for sure.
including something that oughtn't to be there just to kind of catch you.
Right.
It's not going to serve any purpose at all to
Exactly.
do that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha,
And you know
gotcha.
what also that TikTok is doing? I'm assuming this is through like AI, but if you're watching a video about something, there will be like a small little bar that will show a recommended thing for you to search for that is supposed to be related to the video. Sometimes it's super accurate, sometimes it's a little bit off, but it's something that they're automatically doing. Where if you're watching a video about, Thanksgiving recipes, it may say like, oh, here's a recipe for a sweet potato pie. And you can click into it and still be within the framework of what you were looking for, but maybe, suggesting something that you weren't necessarily looking for, but still related to the topic.
Somewhat of that YouTube default. What
Yeah.
YouTube does is default, or
Yeah.
you can control it, but
Mhm.
YouTube will start to suggest
Exactly.
videos of the same and that's smart on their part. That
Yeah.
really is, because
Hmm.
it does help you continue to stay on that platform and
Yeah.
become more and more informed, and that it enhances that search feel
Hmm.
that you want to
Yeah.
keep saving, or keep sharing, that sort of thing. Yeah, no, that's I haven't
Right.
seen
Right.
that. I'm not on TikTok a lot, but that's interesting that it's happening organically, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
through their own
Yeah.
software. That I would be interesting to see if that becomes an option down the road,
Right.
that you're
Right.
allowed to suggest, hey, if you like this, see my other video, see my other
Hmm.
video,
Hmm.
whether maybe on a paid level, possibly, I mean, who
Right.
knows? But that's
Hmm.
interesting they're doing that, and that makes a lot of sense when it's something video centric, like that platform.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people will kind of do something like that with creating playlists for their videos. So they may have a playlist that's just videos of Thanksgiving recipes, that's just videos of desserts, just videos of soups for the fall, as a way to kind of categorize and kind of send people down the rabbit hole of looking
Yeah.
at all your content.
Right, exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
I would think too, something else to
mhm,
just think about, Gen Z. So my daughters are 8 and 14 months. So they're considered the alpha
alpha.
generation.
Right.
And so if Gen Z is already at 46% using social search over traditional search engines, I can only imagine what it's going to be like once alpha starts like getting cell phones, and then also being able to utilize social media, which I know there are some kids, around my daughter's age that has a phone. She doesn't have one yet. Um, but I can only imagine, what that's going to look like. I mean, even just yesterday after school, she asked me if she could get on YouTube because she wanted to see a video on how to draw like a frog or something.
Oh wow.
So she wanted to see videos of how to do it, and like sat here with her notepad and a marker and was like watching this video over and over trying to like draw this thing. And so that's something that we didn't do before, right?
Yeah.
So I just feel that, as we're thinking about the future of, social search, we have people that specialize in search engine optimization. I would imagine that there's probably going to be jobs created in the future where people solely focus on social media search. And that 46% we could very well see at 50 or higher over the next few years. So just something to think about as we're creating content. It's just to be mindful about what we're posting, where we're posting it to, what keywords we're using, and just thinking about what people might be looking for and how we can show up for them in the search.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity for podcasters too. If you think about it,
Mhm.
that's SEO, social media platform search that you're talking about. Because if they, when a podcaster does it really well,
Mhm.
then they're doing it very well. That's an expertise that someone would pay to have them do.
Yeah, for
So it's a way to make money off your podcast indirectly. That you're
yeah.
successful at doing that on social media. Well, yeah, I can do it for you too. Here's the formula, but you got to pay
Yeah.
me, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I think podcasters get into that one mind frame, one mindset of I have to put
Mhm.
ads on my podcast. Like, no, actually, your expertise, your skills are worth something
Yeah.
too.
Being
And
able
as
to sell the formula.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah, you're talking. Yeah, and that's only a few years away, and at the numbers you're talking about, it's a legitimate cottage industry already. And
Yeah.
if you're looking at nearly half of a generation doing that type of
Mhm.
search, yeah, it's all comes down to really fine tooth comb of this is how you do this, a
Right.
platform. This is how you do this platform, and you kind of figure it out. Yeah, wow.
Mhm. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So that's it's a lot to think about and put your head around. How can a listener get a hold of you to really kind of decipher and maybe before that call to you of kind of know this is the platform I want to talk about, Tanisha.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the best way to go about it. And then, rather than going, I don't know what platform, it's like, well, pick one before you call me, because
Yeah.
then I can really
Definitely
help you
think
if it's the right
about
one or wrong one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, think about that. And go to sproutsocial.com/insights and take a look at they often update the demographics per platform. And so who are you trying to reach? Maybe Facebook. People definitely search on Facebook as well, especially within Facebook groups. Because if there's a group about, how to make the best like pecan pie for Thanksgiving dinner, people sharing recipes, things like that, you could probably get a better answer from like I'll trust my grandma giving me insight on a food recipe than my friend because
Mhm.
my grandma's 80. So she knows what she's talking
He's
about, right?
gone through some recipes and found the right
Exactly. So
one.
I
Yep.
guarantee you there's a community for everything. There's probably a group of grandmas or aunties on Facebook that share their family recipes.
Oh, sure.
Get on there and
Yep.
ask really good questions. And so just think about where are your people? And if you want to be where your people are, then okay, let's talk about how to get there. If your people are on TikTok and you're not a TikTok person, then we can talk about that too. So do some research and find out where's your ideal listener, where's your ideal customer. Do you want to be on those platforms? Yes or no? And then I think that will definitely give us a great framework for a really good conversation. And so you can go to tjecommunications.com. I do offer free consultations. I'm the worst salesperson, so it's not like a sales thing. Like we literally will just talk about whatever it is that you're trying to figure out. And if you do decide that you want to work together, we can talk about that too. But I just love being able to help people think about ideas and think about, the work that they're doing and their podcast in a completely different way. Because I know this can sound scary, but if you just tackle one thing at a time, it makes it a lot more easier to digest and be able to go out and do it.
And that's the way you should look at it anyway. Yes, it's a
Mhm.
whole world of social media, but pick one, pick the right
Yeah.
one. And like you said, even if you're not on it, there's somebody that can take care of it for you. It's just that it's that
Mhm.
interview, that trust factor you have with the right person that can do it for
Yeah.
you. Going, yeah, okay, I'll go there occasionally, but I'm just not a blank user of that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get a hold of me for a podcast audit too. I'm in the same camp as Tanisha, terrible sales rep for myself, but
Yeah.
I like the conversations to organically grow. That it's that if I can talk to you about the audit of your podcast and you're seeing some problems and it's too big for you to take over, or you just need some help to get to where you want to be from that conversation, then yes, let's talk about a relationship of working with you.
Mhm.
I think that's the best way to approach problems,
Yeah.
is to kind of figure out who you are. Is it a good match? And let's look at a timetable in regards to what your goals are, and let's make something happen. So I know you and I are both the same way. You can go to my calendar at mypodcastguy.com. Tanisha, thanks again. This was great. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You
Appreciate
bet.
it.